All right, well, we started on Capitol Hill, where Senator Orrin Hatch joined us just a few moments ago talking about the Kagan nomination. Take a look.
All right, Senator Hatch, thank you so much for joining us. I believe now, with the departure of Justice Stevens, you now have been part of the confirmation process for every sitting member of that court.
Well, as soon
They've all had to go through you.
As soon as Elena Kagan goes on, that'll be true.
And how many times have you voted no on a Supreme Court nominee?
Only once, and that was against Sonia Sotomayor.
How is Orrin Hatch going to vote on the Elena Kagan nomination?
I'm still mulling it over in my mind. I have to say there are things that really bother me. And there are a lot of things I think are very good about her as well. She's a very intelligent woman, very personable, not afraid to express her viewpoint, except she didn't express any of her own viewpoints. She expressed a lot for the administration.
But you voted yes on Solicitor General nomination. Is there any chance you'll vote yes this time? Any chance?
Keep in mind, the Solicitor General's nomination is for a job that only lasts a certain amount of time. This is a lifetime appointment to the most important court in the world. And she'll be one of 9 people. And so, you know, it takes a little extra effort. And because I voted for her for Solicitor General doesn't mean that I will vote for her for the Supreme Court.
The other question, Senator, that of course is going to be presented to Republicans is whether you see an extraordinary circumstance, something that might warrant a filibuster. Anything in your mind that stood out over these last couple of days that might make it not just worthy of opposition, perhaps, but an extraordinary circumstance?
Well, the only ones who have ever filibustered a Supreme Court nominee are the Democrats.
Is that going to change this time?
Republicans aren't going to filibuster her. I don't think most Republicans don't believe in it. I have to say that our president was one of those who did filibuster a Republican nominee. So I don't think you have to worry about Republicans doing that. I think that would be an unheard of, dirty thing to do at this point.
What has happened to this process? I mean, you've seen it up close. Scalia was confirmed 99-0. Ruth Bader Ginsburg 96-3. You know, Kagan will be confirmed. I'm sure you agree with that. But there's going to be, you know, virtually the vast majority of the Republican caucus is going to vote no.
Well, Republicans are getting chewed up in the media because they haven't been nasty enough, apparently, for some of the media. The fact of the matter is we aren't nasty about these things. It all began with Bork. The Democrats smeared Bork. There's no use kidding about it. It was vicious. It was reprehensible. It was something that I think people don't get over easy. And then came Clarence Thomas. There were some other things in between that generally aren't talked about, but nevertheless were really bad things. And then Thomas came up, and everybody knew Thomas was an honest, decent man. They all knew that he was intelligent, and they painted him like he just couldn't handle the job. And they're still doing that, even though he's writing probably the best opinions on the court.
Senator, I want to turn your attention to the immigration debate. President Obama today giving a speech where he's again calling on Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform. You've been watching this closely from your perch on the Judiciary Committee. Has anything changed substantially politically that would suggest to you that there's a realistic chance of getting this done, or has President Obama not done that work?
Well, the president's in trouble, and so what are they doing? They're pandering to the Hispanics in this country and others by pretending that they're going to do something about immigration. Now, let's just look at that. They have 59 Democrats in the Senate. They had 60 at one time. They have an overwhelming number in the House, and they haven't done a doggone thing for immigrants or to solve the immigration problems. And now they're talking about even distorting the law by using some of the laws that you use in case of humanitarian concerns and just sweepingly bringing a lot of people into the country, even though they have come here illegally. Now, you know, that kind of stuff really gets on my nerves. And I'll be honest with you, the administration's way out of line on some of this stuff. And I hope our friends throughout this country, the Hispanic people out there, realize the cynical game that they're playing. It's just awful.
So the bottom line is that we are not going to see a comprehensive immigration reform bill in this Congress. It sounds like it's going to be tough to see one in the next Congress either.
Jonathan, you're one of the most knowledgeable people who come around here. You ask some of the best questions, and you know doggone well there's no way they can put an immigration bill through in the remaining days that we have in this Congress. Now, they could have, if they'd have wanted to, with 60 votes, with 59 votes in the Senate, overwhelming majority in the House. They didn't do that. You know, I kind of think they like the current situation where they can play politics with it, and the people who are being hurt by it, both in the country and out of the country, think of the hundreds of thousands standing in line to come into this country and then playing by the rules. Now, how do you solve that problem? It's going to take both parties It's going to have to get out of the realm of politics. It's going to take a president that isn't trying to play politics with it. And frankly, this administration is not the one.
Senator, in the time we have left, let's play a little politics. And you're a guy that likes to just cut through all of the bluster and the blather. I want to ask you the 2012 question. Is Mitt Romney the Republican frontrunner right now in your mind?
Yeah, I think Mitt Romney would be a tremendous president. First of all, he understands economics. Secondly, he's a gutsy guy. He's extremely bright. He's extremely personable. He's one of the people who could bring this country out of this economic morass that we're in. So he'd be great. There are some others that'd be great too. I mean, you've got to look at some of the other top Republicans who also have some degree of ability in economics. You take Mitch Daniels in Indiana. That state has had all kinds of difficulties, and he brought it through beautifully, under budget, and doing things that other governors throughout the country were not able to do. I mean, you could go on and on. We have got a pretty good stable, but it's pretty tough for anybody to be as good as Mitt Romney. And the guy is a terrific human being. I know him very, very well. It isn't just a matter of friendship. He just has what it takes to bring this country through this tremendously bad fiscal morass we're in right now.
And then one last question about the Republican nominee out in your state, Mike Lee for Senate. Yeah. Obviously, your colleague, Senator Bennett, basically hounded out of the Republican Party, hit very hard because he was a guy that occasionally worked with Democrats. My question to you is, will Mike Lee, assuming he wins and ends up a senator here, be in for a little bit of a rude awakening? It's pretty hard to get anything done, as you know, here without working with those on the other side of the aisle.
Well, Mike Lee, I've known him since he was my page here in the United States Senate. He's an extremely bright guy, very, very good person, like his father. Rex Lee was one of the all-time great Solicitors General of the United States. Mike's a very bright guy. His brother, I recommended to the Supreme Court in Utah and is now on the Supreme Court. Terrific mind, very good people. I think when he gets here, he'll realize that there are things you can do and things you can't do, and he'll have to learn just like I did, just like everybody else. But he's going to have a lot of help from me because I care a great deal for him. And I feel badly about Senator Bennett. It wasn't a good thing as far as I'm concerned. But fortunately, the two who ran off, Tim Bridgewater and Mike Lee, are both excellent people, just excellent, excellent people.
All right. Well, Senator Hatch, thank you so much for joining us here on Top Line. Appreciate it.
Nice to be with you.
Sir.